Guess what I get to do again? I get to copy paste stuff again. I don't know if this actually is because of kittens. Though one of the cats was very close to it once again, but this time it was one that knows better. So, wait for me to reconnect here. I can't see you guys. That's really inconvenient. That is super inconvenient. That I cannot. Caleb Oxley. Opening. What is freaking going on right now? I am getting really triggered by all this. Hello again. Well, I'm gonna do my best to try to at least get us through the next couple of minutes and figure out what the hell's going on. That's the next thing that I'm considering, Alec. In fact, I want to scope out Atlantic broadband outages real quick and see if maybe there's an issue that's going on really fast, because we do have a donation to get to and a spin of the multiplier wheel to get to, because Justin donated 20 bucks. I really don't like Atlantic Broadband very much anymore. I'm getting really triggered by them. Did I see your super chat? Let me see here. Are you talking about the Alice in Chains? If you're talking about Alice in Chains real thing, yes. Yes, I did see it. I didn't get a chance to add it. I didn't get a chance to add it because, you know, shit's going on. I got that now, and then I have to add the 20 from Justin. This whole thing is just going to be a mess at the end. I'm going to have to do a lot of well, it says that there's no live outage, so hopefully that just means it's hopefully that just means that it's over on my end. There was a couple of outages detected earlier today, 9 a.m., 3 a.m., and multiple last night at 2100, which is 9 p.m. So it looks like maybe there's been like some roaming problems, but aside from that, it doesn't look like it's too bad. Let's get to this donation. Let's get to this donation from Justin here momentarily after we get some music going. Specifically Woods of Desolation with Torn Beyond Reason, which was requested by Akon about an hour ago, but our queue is so stinking long. I mean, it is massive. We have a massive queue. And again, I'm very thankful for that, by the way. I'm not complaining. Trust me. I don't think any of us are complaining about that. But, Justin is going to spin the prize wheel, or the multiplier wheel. I can't even stay on brand. I can't even stay on brand. Last time Justin spun the multiplier wheel, he got 50%. So let's see what we get this time around whenever we spin it. And here we go. Gift cards are gone. Dances are still out there. There's a 100%. Oh, don't stop on that 0. Don't stop on that 0, you bastard. Well, let's try to be positive about this. Let's try to be positive about this. This means that if somebody on the last day decides to drop $1,000, that it's not going to go to 0%. Because now both of the 0% that were on the board are off the board. Doesn't mean I'm happy about it. Doesn't mean I'm happy about it. Well, it happens. I can't respin. Gotta take what we get. Well, that's a thing. That's a thing that happened. If you want the honest truth of those 0%, I'm probably still gonna end up giving something, so. That was actually the dream I had last night. I dreamt that somebody dropped $1,000, and to spoiler alert what the spin of the wheel was for the multiplier wheel, it was 30%. It wasn't 100%, sorry. It was 30%. But the dream also stated that the 100% would be unveiled on the last day. That would be whenever it would finally be hit. But unfortunately, it was hit by somebody who only dropped 20 bucks. Like, it was a really, really weird dream. It was oddly specific. There was 5 people the very last day. It was $1,000, $100, $150, 25 or 30, like 30 and 20. It was something silly. It was something really, really silly. If you're wondering why that dream even came to me, I couldn't even tell you. I was actually in the shower whenever it happened, and then all of a sudden, bam, like a weird-ass vision. Pearl Jam with Elderly Woman. I remember the whole title was like Elderly Woman Behind the Counter of a Corner Store or something like that. Pound 99. Hopefully everything is now, you know, not going to be dung. Actually, it is going to be dung. I just realized. Oh, fuck. Shit. $2.60. Versus does turn 25. Yeah, is very correct. Which incentive are you offering that up to, my friend? I need to see what Justin wants his to be for. A precognition? You mean a premonition? I hope so, man. I hope so. That would be insane. Is it... Number 1, filter, you walk away. I'll send you the rest of the song shortly. Has anything new been unlocked in the stream? As of the moment, no. I don't believe. I'm trying hard to even think. It's been a very, very odd day, to say the least. It's been a very, very odd day, and I just realized that hopefully all those super chats get saved somewhere, because this is going to really throw off my my logging system. Hey, Princess Olmeca, sorry that things have gone kind of awry so much, but I appreciate the drop. Your song was coming up here. I'll actually hold on to your song for the next time I see you, Princess Olmeca. But if you gotta go, my friend. I understand that. I just realized I should be saving everything over on this end. God damn. Well, that's going to make this really interesting. Leprous with the Price by Akon. Neil's going with number 3. Woods of Desolation is now complete. Going into Monuments with Mirror Image. There's something else I wanted to do today, but I don't know if we're going to get to it because things have kind of gotten so out of whack. These are so wacky. These are so wacky right now. Freaking wacky. This is going to be a long-ass stream. Yeah, there's a really good chance. There's a good chance this is going to be a little bit longer than usual. It's going to have to be if we want to get through everything. And it's also, you know, what also like kind of doesn't help is the fact that now everybody is looking to get a hold of me like all at once. Not you guys. You guys are fine. You're the folks that actually want to get a hold of me. But I'm talking like friends I haven't talked to in months and stuff like that. Rivers of Nile with Home. So we immediately go back to number 2 and we add to that. Good gosh. So we near the $500 mark. Getting closer and closer. When's those Rank 'em All videos that came out with List Mania? List Mania is done, man. List Mania has all been done. List Mania has all been completed. You're talking about the Tribune and the Enslaved ones. I have both of those recorded. I need to edit them. And then the bands that won from last month are Meshuggah and Killswitch Engage. And we have another Rank 'em All that we need to determine. That was what I was hopefully going to do today, but I don't know if we're going to do that. I don't know if we're going to do that now. I think right now we're just going to have to like pray that everything holds together. I think now we're just going to have to pray that everything holds together and doesn't like completely and totally collapse. Hey now, Monuments language. This is a PG fucking stream. Wait. I think I did that wrong. I need to check timestamps to know whenever we need to get into certain elements of the queue. Well, actually that makes that pretty easy. There's one song we cannot listen to, which is Princess Olmeca's, considering they had to depart. So that's going to be on hold. Makes that kind of easy, I guess. This is actually not too bad. This honestly could be a lot worse, if I'm being real. Mind my fucking language. I'll try. The only problem is that I don't mind it. I don't mind it whenever I say it. I'm one of those guys. Born of Osiris, the other half of me from Akon. Rolling further, rolling deep. We are going in hard. David the Welder is in the building. How's it going? Australia, mate. Australia, mates. How's it going, Dynasty TV? Glad to see you, man. Oi, oi, oi. It has been a stream already. We've been live for about an hour and a half, although right now it says, on my side it says 15 minutes, but that's because the damn thing has failed multiple times. At first I thought it was because of El Kiddos, cats, but I don't think it is. I think that's actually some garbage that's been going on with either broadband or whatever. We do have ourselves a very, very hearty full queue filled with quite a number of tracks. I'm telling you what. I can think of like at least 15 right now that we have. So we have, you sit back, relax, and enjoy some tunes, man. That's all I can say. Betrayer by Trivium is next. And I'll tell you what's not going to help is all these damned ads. Into the Spider-Verse, this 15-second garbage. Get out of here. This looks dumb. We have another one. We have Akon coming in with Take This Life by In Flames, $2. Once again, heading toward number 2. We're steadily hitting up number 2. Oh my gosh. Getting to the 470 range. I remember watching a video of Childish Gambino dancing to Rational Gaze. Yeah, I do remember that. You're the person that sent me that video? Dude. Thank you, man. That's awesome. That's freaking sweet. Yeah, it was a really good video. It was really freaking sweet. It was pretty awesome. Thanks, man. I didn't realize. Yeah, we have, I mean, just from looking in front of me, there's 1, 2, 3, there's 5. Looking at what I had to copy-paste over, that's 9. And then knowing what I know over on the PayPal side, that's like 18 total in the queue right now. It's going to be a long one. It's going to be a long one, boys and girls. Do the $20 donation, does it accumulate? No, it has to be at once. It has to be at once. Yeah, it's not an accumulation process. If I played any songs requested from the previous stream, we finished up the queue from Wednesday's stream. We actually went and completed it. So yeah, everything from there is done. Wow. Yeah, I know that's the actual band name. I know about Make Change, Kill Yourself. $20 from Akon. Telling us to make a change and kill myself. Let me tell you. Maybe I should. Wow, dude. Incredibly generous. Thank you very much, dude. That is a quick 20 right there. That's 20 more heading toward number 2. We're getting closer and closer to giving out another gift card. Please don't. No, I won't. I won't. Not at all. But we do have to spin the multiplier wheel again. Which means I need to get it, everything prepared on my end, which that was easy enough to do. So we get our window up. And so, we know it can't be 0%. We know this one cannot possibly be bad. But will it be good? Or will it just be 30%? There's a lot of 30% out there. There's a lot of just stays the same out there. Which I'm very surprised those haven't been hit more often. Like, they have the highest frequency. They're like literally 1/3 of this wheel. Let's see what happens this time around. I'm almost afraid. I'm almost afraid. Keep moving. Keep moving, you bastard. Thank you. 30%. So, exactly the same. It stays the same. That's good. That's what we want. That's what we like to see. My headphones just cut out there for... Now they're cutting out. That's awesome. Great. 30%! That's good. That's what we want. That's what we want. Nothing bad. Only good things. Good lord. I'm telling you what. Stressing me the hell out. Whew. I have a feeling a lot of people are going to have their way with the Rank 'em All Trivium. If that video does not somehow spark like tens of thousands of views, then I'll know that I should just retire. My channel's just over. It's just done. Forget it. Dark Sarah with Violent Roses up next from Maru. If you want to know where we're at in the queue, Maru requested this at 4 o'clock, which is an hour ago. Which means we have a long way to go, folks. We have a long way to go. So, hopefully you guys can stick around for a while, because, of course, if you're not here, I can't play your stuff. That's my own thing. That is my own rule. And as of right now, we have one person who we're going to have to play a track for later on, Princess Olmeca, which would have been next. Dub Mix, I have heard the album. I'm going to review it tomorrow, and hopefully have the video posted tomorrow as well. It's an okay album. I actually like the fact that they did something a little bit different. But the second half of that album's a mess. And I will be depressed because you worked very hard to fund that video. Jeez. Okay, that is totally acceptable. I just got sent a cat picture from my tech department. Yay! You curious about my thoughts on Trivium albums? Well, I'll tell you right now. This will be the first Rank 'em All video where part of it is not based around solely, like 100% in my opinion. Like, it was actually affected a little bit by conventional wisdom. This is Violent Roses by Dark Sarah. To Aussie Dollar from Scarborough Sirens in the Sky, Dynasty TV, Akon with 5 more, Alubite, Rebirth, and Hamina. Lost if you can get 2 songs. Will we get to them is the real question, Akon. Because damn. The Rank 'em All is extremely objective. The Rank 'em All is tremendously objective, I will say. Because like I said, I've already recorded it. I just need to edit it. I wanted to edit either that or like a Disturbed review for today, but it just wasn't going to happen. Did I put Shogun at number 5? Did I, though? Is that really where it's at, though? Is that really where it's going to end up? That's the question. Because that has gotten a revision ever since we talked about it here in chat. That has got a further revision. 142 from Dynasty Television. Don't make fun of how I say Dynasty. I enjoy saying Dynasty instead of Dynasty. I think Dynasty's dumb. Yeah, there's a lot of it's an interesting list, I'll say that. It's a very interesting list. Some of what you would expect to be down at the bottom is down at the bottom. Not for me, like, specifically, but I think it's kind of agreed upon that some of their more recent albums have been weak. Yeah, this section. As opposed to what? Dissection? You're surprised that no chart music's been requested? Chart music will be requested next week, probably during the Bad Song Stream 2. That's next week. That'll be really, really interesting. So next week's stream is going to be probably another long one. Next week's probably going to be really long. So I'll probably aim to get that stream started a little earlier. Because Bad Song Stream brings out the best and the worst in us. You know? It brings out the best because we all want to be impulsive and kind of helpful and donate and stuff like that. But it also brings out the worst of us because we also want to find some real stinkers. Asobi Asobase, Ed Inkia Impulse. What in the world? This looks very anime. Is this some weeb shit? It's cool if it is. I don't care. I don't like it like that. YouTube music. Suck my dick. Is this some weeb shit? Yeah, I probably will like it. It's true, dude. At least anime and a lot of like foreign shows have really strong theme music as opposed to over here in America. A lot of American stuff is really dumb. Dubmix, whenever you do the freequeue, you can just go over to the Google Docs page. Those tracks won't be played until sometime in November or December during the Video Mania event, which will be the last event of the year. And like I said, I don't know if that event's going to have a charity attached to it. I think that event will be 100% in-house. Mostly because I'm tired, man. Bro's gotta eat too, you know. That and it's... I don't know. I'm still really... I debate everything endlessly. I hate doing stuff just for myself. I hate doing that. Yep, Red Sox are in the World Series. I actually hope that Milwaukee comes back and takes out LA. I'd like to see Milwaukee and Boston in the series. That way I could tell a bunch of people that want to defend the AL Central that, hey, at least the Pirates have had to deal with the fact that other teams in their division have been World Series winners. But I think that Boston might just be unstoppable. I mean, they have a really, really good team. And really, whenever you looked at it head to toe at the first part of the season, you knew they were going to be decent. You know, you knew they were probably going to compete with New York for the AL East crown, but I didn't think they were going to win 108 games. Tomorrow is Monday. I'm not familiar with them, Right now, at this point in time, I'm excited over hockey being back. And hey, how about LeBron James's LA first game being ruined? He was lost because they lost. They lost to Portland. I'm not sure if I'm being yelled at in Japanese or flirted with. Dodgers are overrated? I don't know. I think they have the pitching staff. They have the pitching staff and a decent lineup. You know who I actually think is overrated are the Cubs. I think the Cubs are super overrated. Because first of all, well, I hate saying first of all now like that. I really, really hate that phrase. The Pirates did very well against them this year and exposed a lot of flaws that they had. They're a timely hitting team, but they're not a smart hitting team at all times. Joe Madden is not the genius that people think he is. Nah, Janet Gurr's cool or fool? He's cool. He's an Iron Maiden. Of course he's cool, man. A line goes through it. If a line goes through it, I wouldn't worry about it. I probably just have strike through set. I probably just have strike through set, which I can turn off easily, so I wouldn't worry about it. Yeah, the Cubs won the World Series a couple years back, but still. Doesn't necessarily mean that I think that they are worthy of the hype. Mostly because I think that they have really good players. And their pitching staff, I mean, they built a really strong pitching staff. They're spending money. They're doing the things. They won the World Series a few years ago, more so based around a couple acquisitions and then their farm system coming together. But the more that they've kind of tweaked with and fucked with things, the more that it's been exposed that that's just what they're going to do. I wouldn't be surprised if next year they regressed. I would not be surprised if in 2019 they regressed, unless they make deals. Which they've already made too many deals, really. So I think they may have... I think you can expect a Chicago Cubs regression next year. Between you and me. Dead Letter Circus. With the armor that you own. The armor you own. We're getting finally into some of the PayPal tracks. It has been a while. And believe me, whenever it comes to the RIP Notebook, there is a lot. There has been a lot. Why are the charts infested with indie stuff? Why is it a problem? I didn't realize that we paid attention to charts that closely. You know, indie pop, indie rock. And really, are some of those even indie bands anymore? Because indie stands for independent. And if they're on a label or something like that and they're not doing it themselves, are they really indie? Maybe it's all just a title. I don't know. I don't claim to know anything about how the charts are activated or utilized right now. Like, here's a fact for you that might make you depressed. the all-time, the band that has the most all-time tracks on the modern rock chart is 3 Days Grace. Am I gonna listen to the new Soulfly? Eventually, yeah, I will. The albums that I got last night, that I received, should I say, was Disturbed, Greta Van Fleet, and Aramanth. Those are the three that I've received thus far. Soulfly should be on its way, and I'm not sure about any others. I probably have an old promo for the new Gorod, but I don't know if I'm going to talk about Gorod. I'm unsure about that. There's a new Saliva. Oh my lord. They should release a song called Click Click Boom 2. Or Boom Boom Click. I need to take a quick picture, I think. This is Mittens right now. You just see his head. But I like Ex Mortis' latest release, yeah. Demon Hunter's decent. I've got nothing wrong with, like, I don't have a problem with Saliva. I've seen Saliva live. It's just that I'm surprised they're still around and doing things, and I haven't heard anything new from them. Like, I'm sure they've released stuff, but I've not listened to a new Saliva record since, like, 2007 or 2008. It's been a long time. Like, they're just one of those groups that I no longer, if they have a new album coming out, I'm not like, oh, I'm curious about it. Really, I wasn't very curious about the new Disturbed album either until I read up a little bit on it, then I became curious. Did I listen to Earshot? I haven't listened to much of anything from Earshot, no. Is it the worst Disturbed record ever? I have a feeling that there are going to be a lot of fans that are going to take very extreme opinion toward Evolution. That is the one thing I will say. Ice Nine Kills coming up next with Thank God It's Friday. I think there's going to be a lot of folks that are going to take a extreme approach to their opinion of Evolution. Oh no. Okay. That was happening again. I feel like some fans are going to claim it to be this alienating, terrible album filled with weak shit. Like, remember what happened whenever Linkin Park's last album came out? Remember whenever, what was that, One More Light came out, and it was immediately panned? And then everybody changed their opinion on it because of what happened with Chester? I feel like you're going to hear a lot of similar opinion with Disturbed fans with Evolution, only it's going to be more legit. And then you're going to have the super diehards that will say that it's their greatest album ever, and they finally evolved, and they did this, and blah, blah, blah. And Wait by Earshot by the Riff Notebook with $2 drop. As we are narrowly behind the $500 8 ball. I will tell you right now, I'm hoping that we get to this entire queue. But that's going to be a That's going to be a challenge, I'm telling you. But we're just going to keep on trucking with it. How many songs are left? Whoo, boy! Oh, Akon. That's a question. That's a question. Let's take a look here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right there. There's 6 over there. 7 based off of that. We have left over on this side of things. 1, 2, so that's 8, 9. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah, you know, 18. 18 roughly. How was your song? Good. It was good. You're gonna have to be a tad more specific here, Cody. Because right now I'm lost by what you mean. The only reason why I say that, Cody, is because we had a couple of resets thanks to the internet, so things are a little disheveled at the moment. So yeah. Woods of Desolation was awesome. Woods of Desolation was really cool. I think I've heard of them before. After listening to that track, it sounded familiar, and also their logo looked very familiar to me also. So I feel like I have heard them in the past. Maro with the €6 drop, saying Lac Bello, Pale Moon Rabbit, going to #1 and saying Indie Pop. Oh, Cody, yes, from Wednesday. Oh my God, dude, that song's amazing. That song was great. Yeah, we closed the stream on that. We closed the stream on that on Wednesday, and it was awesome. I apologize that I can't remember everything. I really do, because yeah, it's. The funny thing is that whenever folks ask me about bands, I'm being as honest as I possibly can whenever I mention if I've heard of them or favorites or things like that. My head gets turned around a lot with that, because there are literally, and you could probably see from the CD sales stuff and everything, the amount of things that I like and try to follow and want to scope out and things like that is, wow. I mean, it's huge. It's massive. Pound Cake by Van Halen. This is off of For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge. I need to get the translation conversion on that €6 drop from Maru momentarily, as in right now. Hello? Oh, okay. I was gonna say, sounds like someone's using a power drill. At 691, heading toward numero uno. Math is stupid and hard. That's why I love it, obviously. Obviously why I was almost a math major. That's actually not true. I was never almost a math major. Do I know any other Swiss band other than Celtic Frost? Oh, At the Gates. Took you an hour. That's all good, Cody. This does This sounds like the Cult. This is Van Halen Pound Cake. I love the Cult though. Cult's awesome. Did you know that Sonic Temple by the Cult, which was a #1 album by the way, was produced by the one, the only Bob Rock? Hellhammer. Let's just go with that pre-Celtic Frost right there, yeah. Uh-oh, you might have to buy a new printer. That stinks. I have a printer over here I'm not using. If it wasn't going to cost like 70 bucks to ship, it would totally be worthwhile for me to send to you. Yeah, I think it's Swedish. They're from Gothenburg. Gothenburg sound. So literally Gothenburg metal got their name from the fact that all the bands were from right around that scene. So like, you look at the Gate, Star Tranquility, and Flames, you're looking right around the same area. Don't forget Coroner. I always do. I forget that they're Swiss. Honestly, for some reason, I always think Coroner was American or British. Forget it. I said they were Swiss. My bad. Whoops. Oh well. Damn Switzerland. Apologies to anybody in Switzerland who is offended. Man, y'all ain't even from Switzerland, alright? Shush. You shut your mouth. Every Swiss band is amazing. There you go. Let's see how they like it whenever I say. That'll teach them. That'll teach all of them. $2 from Justin Neely coming in. I need to take a look at. Before we get deeper on board here. Maybe. Eels, Rags to Rags. Not ready yet. Guest list and failure. Wonderful life. Now I can buy more waffles. Fucking waffles, dude. Hell yeah. Have I listened to the whole Windhand album yet? Yes, I have. I enjoy it. I enjoy it quite a bit. I know some folks were a little disappointed about that, the direction that they took on that disc, Justin. I'm really not too sure why, to be perfectly frank, because I thought it was pretty well done. But, you know, whatever they want to do. $5 from Akon again, dropping a Sylvian song, which is awesome, by the way. Just to toss that out there. So yeah, the queue just expanded to the, now we're in the 20s. Now we're definitely in the 20s. Meanwhile, Riff is like, I love Swiss cheese. Goes really good on my, goes really good on my subs. It's good on mine too, buddy. Cavity King from Project 86. That's what's up next. We're getting through some short ones. We're getting through some shorties. Shorties watching shorties. I'm gonna have to take a break here in a couple minutes, for sure, and like reset. All you saw in America sold as cheese was processed oil, dude. Believe me, a lot of what you see is pretty gnarly and processed nastiness. Like, I'm being for real with that. Unless you're in the upper Midwest, like if you're in Wisconsin, Minnesota, like areas that are known straight up for their cheese. There should be a now playing bar on the screen. Listen, that may just absolutely crash the stream forever. If I have anything else on this screen, it might just die. But I agree, there should be, it would be very cool if I could arrange something like that, but No such luck, unfortunately. Like, I don't even think that Nightbot can do that. Like, I think I'd have to set up something on Nightbot. Let me try it. Like, I don't think anything's going to happen. Mechanics, I might be able to do that, but it's going to depend on if I have to sync it with my YouTube or not. Which I probably will have to do. Because I know that there's a list over on Nightbot. And also, if that interferes with the donations and stuff like that, then I can't use it. That might actually be the problem. ABBA recording a new album? It'd be neat if I could write a little program or something to do that, but no such luck. Back whenever I did everything on, before we did song requests and stuff, I used to have my Winamp up and running. And you could see it that way. But that ended up being a really, you know, I don't have every song in history. Yeah, current song does not work. Despite our best intentions. Despite our best intentions. Our next track is going to be 979 Evil from the Deftones. And after that, we'll have some Arcane Roots and Feed the Ground by Periphery. And in the future, Andrew, riff. Look at 20 as 20 minutes, as opposed to the split that you were doing there, bud. Look at it as 20 minutes. And that's mostly just out of respect for all. 976 Evil, rather, not 979.
Make your morning a little better. Mix and match.
I don't want to make my morning better. I want to make my morning worse. Now I kind of really want to McGriddle and regret it instantly. Mango's in the building. How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Who was that just now? That was Project 86. That was Project 86. The track was entitled Cavity King. I like the Apsu song. Yeah, I've seen Apsu live, Akon. I saw them live with Immortal a number of years back, and they put on a good show. They still make pretty killer records. Terra is still a classic, you know. Half-Life 3 was canceled. Oh well. Hey, we need a Kylesa. We have a Kylesa void right now. The band is no longer active. Kylesa is no longer active. Which is kind of a shame. This is a very strange timeline that we are on right now. Disturbed developing their sound, I think, was one of the more surprising aspects. The fact that they actually somewhat did it, but they didn't go all in with it. Like, they actually screwed themselves over a little bit by trying to put both sides of the sound on there. And I'm almost curious if they were affected by the actual label whenever it comes to that. Because even the tracks that sound like traditional Disturbed do not have a lot of pep to them. Like, it does not feel like Liberate, or it doesn't feel like Believe. It doesn't feel like any of the singles. Like, even whenever you take a listen to the stuff off of Immortalized, those felt like Disturbed tracks from 1999 or 2004 or 2002, whatever. Like, there's a big night and day, and there's aggressive songs from Immortalized to Evolution. So I wonder if they were required to write a song like in that vein as a single. This is 976 Evil by the Deftones. Street. This is off of Diamond Eyes. Early 2010s album from the Deftones. It's amazing. Great disc. Last album they had with Chai, I think. If I remember correctly. This has been it's an interesting album to listen to, Mango, I will say, but I feel like the second half of it falls off a cliff until you get to the very final track. Like, the review's going to be really interesting, and I know it's going to split a lot of people. It's going to split some people. I mean, first of all, it's going to split people because I'm reviewing that first, as opposed to like Soulfly or like their underground band that has 7 fans on Facebook. So that's immediately going to be the first piss off. But then there's the fact that it is actually a different album, and actually is a little bit like they did what they said they were going to do. They just didn't go full on with it. And I also think that one risk that you get into whenever you say that you're going to evolve your sound is that, yeah, it is an evolution, because writing differently is not easy. But I think it paints this like unrealistic expectation on a lot of people. A lot of fans that are expecting something very vastly different. And then if maybe it doesn't go enough, they say, well, that wasn't really all that different. That was just bullshit. If Nothing Breaks, Nothing Moves by Arcane Roots. If CKN doesn't go to the bathroom, his bladder will explode, so I'll return momentarily. Okay. That was relaxing. That was relaxing and necessary. And hello, how's everybody doing? How you doing? We have Vader with Flag of Hate. Another $2 from our good buddy Akon. This is Arcane Roots. The song is entitled If Nothing Breaks, Nothing Moves. I have not seen Phil lately. I haven't seen Phil much ever since Vinny died. Whenever it comes to interviews and stuff like that, I think he's been sober. As far as I know, he's been sober still, and I think he's just right now, he's going to end up being the last one alive. You know, obviously it's just him and Rex left, but I don't know, I worry about Phil sometimes. I really do. I worry about Phil sometimes. Who's going to be the last remaining Beatle? That's already been determined. Paul number 2. Notice how I said Paul number 2. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Conspiracy theories. Feed the Ground by Periphery.
I don't have a lot.
And that's going to wrap it up for the 20 that was offered by our good friend, the Riff Notebook. Then it's looking at timestamps once again. It's the one thing about like the stream crashing like it did that kind of stinks, because I have to look at timestamps in order to get the order correct for when everything are supposed to get played. Because I do not want to. Okay, well I know where I'm at. Up next, we're gonna have a long track, so. Yeah, definitely going to want to get your dancing shoes on whenever it comes to that. It's going to be a longer cut. It's from Sonata Arctica, White Pearl, Black Oceans, Part 1 and 2. That's going to be What's Up Next. It was requested by Maru more than an hour ago at this point. Good lord. And after that, we have a ways to go, folks. We have a ways to go. So, gotta head out after this song. Gotta head to work. Alright, dude. Well, in that case, I will take a look at the tracks that you have left, and we'll hold them, which I think is just one. It's just Wait by Earshot. So I will hold on to that one for you. Copy that over.
Everything is
Okay, so that is held. That is fine. We're good with that. I need to keep this other stuff up just in case I have problems with, you know, grabbing things off of YouTube, which probably will. Because YouTube is super duper good whenever it comes to logging everything correctly. I'm hoping that they are. They need to be. Because if not, then my logs are going to be so off. I like Tantric's first album. They were the former backing band for the leader of Days of the New, whose name I just... It was there, now it's gone. I must say Connor Roberts, but that's Bright Eyes. I think his name is Dylan. I'm probably very wrong on that. But yeah, that Tantric was formed because he fired the entire backing band that was on Days of the New's first record. And they formed Tantric. And they ended up having more hits after the fact than he did. So, you take that, I guess. I like Days of the New, though. I like all three of the albums. Like, all three of the initial colored albums I really like. I think Green is tremendously underappreciated. You know, everybody knows, essentially, the self-titled are Yellow, because that's the one that has Shelf in the Room and Touch, Peel, and Stand on it. I also had a really good song in it called Downtown. I was always a really big fan of Shelf in the Room, and I don't know why. I think it's just the harmonies on it. He had a nice crisp voice. I wonder if somebody has actually combined these. Has somebody actually done me the pleasure? Oh, yes, somebody has. Oh, hell yes. White Pearl, Black Ocean, Part 1 and 2 from Sonata Arctica. Somebody was nice enough to combine these two. And actually, for the opening couple of minutes of this, I am going to step outside for station identification and to kind of reset myself. There's also a small little spill that occurred while I've been in here that may require my assistance. So enjoy White Pearl, Black Ocean Parts 1 and 2. I've heard both of these parts, so I'm familiar. And I have to say, Mario, really, really good choices. But I will return momentarily. So sit tight, and we'll be right back.
I could see her eyes. We got caught in the moment all of the night, taking the old lines in silence, leaving him all behind. She had found the sails for the following night. The time for her was getting way too small. She promised to be mine forever.
waiting for the resurrection of the body, when the sea shall give up her dead, and the life of the world to come through our Lord. Amen.
So who's playing the Mega Millions tonight? Who's playing the Mega Millions tonight? And if you do, don't forget about your boy. Don't forget about your boy if you win. Don't forget about your boy if you win. That's all I'm going to say. Hello, hello, everybody. Hi, Metal Fury. How are you doing? It has been a wild and crazy day filled with stream resets, a big queue, and a lot of other things. A quick announcement. Whenever it comes to the Rank 'em All video, that is going to be voted upon. I'm actually going to take votes or some of the suggestions from the thread that was over on the CKN page on Facebook. So I'll have that ready for you guys on Monday. You guys will be able to get your votes in. They'll be able to get their votes in. So I'll have that ready for you guys on Monday. CKN's choice is still wide open. Disturbed's new album is very interesting, to say the least. We're going to review that tomorrow. That's going to be the next video. And then after that, I think the next video after that will probably be the Rank 'em All Trivium, because that's the one I've been meaning to want to edit for the past 24 hours. Yesterday was kind of a scary day, considering there was a little scare with one of the kittens. One of them got their little neck tangled around some string. CKN stresses to send one of the kittens to you. Oh gosh, Mario. I can only imagine what would happen if I came over on a plane with a cat in my lap. It'd be great. It'd be really funny. I expect, by the way, from whoever gets these kittens, that I get plenty of pictures and updates and everything. It's different for Disturbed Metal Fury, but I'll be honest with you, the second half of that album falls off a fucking cliff. Until you get to Already Gone. The second half of that album falls off a damn cliff, man. But they did do what they said. They did attempt to evolve a little bit. So I cannot sit here and say with an honest face that they didn't at least attempt it. And that's, again, just whenever you're in this position, you have the option to just completely dismiss what a band does. That doesn't make you a good reviewer, though. You know, that doesn't make you good at what you do. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm good at what I do, but even I have to sit here and be honest about stuff. Cody with the $2 Canadian. I like trains. I like trains. Water and Sand, post-pop rock. I love that band name. The band name is so good. This is White Pearl Black Ocean. This is part 2 by Sonata Arctica. This is great power metal. Am I gonna listen to the new Soulfly? Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna listen to the new Soulfly. I should have that coming my way probably sometime tonight. Or maybe I missed an email and I've had it. Throbbing Gristle? I don't know anything about Throbbing Gristle, so I know that they're a band? Question mark? London 52 being added on board with a song added to our extremely long queue. which Cody, I'm sure you know, is massive. Which of the 3 incentives is that $1.52 heading? Do you think there are some folks who are just unable to be pleased? I actually think that really, I think it's going to cause a lot of extreme reactions. I think it's going to cause a lot of extreme reactions, as opposed to a lot of like common consensus. I feel that there's going to be folks that say it's genius and folks that say it's the worst album they've ever done. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of in between, which is where I'm at. I'm very much in the middle. It's a very middling album. Like I said, the second half of it really falls off a cliff, and that hurts. Whenever they go into their more classic sounding material, like not the evolution part, but the part where they sound like, you know, Disturbed, that stuff is actually really weak. So, yeah. Andy's in the building. Man, Andy, you have, it's been a day. It's been a day on the stream, my friend. It has been a day. We have a lot to get to still. And, I do have the Amaranth album. I do have that to scope out and talk about. And I think I am going to do just that. That's going to be a video. Whether or not it does well doesn't really matter. I kind of, that's my expectation sort of it, is that it's harmless radio power metal. I don't expect it to be anything that's going to blow my socks off, but it might still be fun to listen to. How many songs are left? Good lord, dude. Many. We're talking like we're probably close to 20 songs left. Give or take. I mean, we have a lot. Like, we have a lot left. Many is a good number. Many is a high number is what it is. That's the problem. Many is a high number. Up next, we're going to have a track from Absu. We're going to have She Cries, The Quiet Lake. After that, we have Alice in Chains with Real Thing. And then we're going to get into a queue. We're going to get into the queue that's actually, I can actually see on Super Chat right now. Because what happened was that my net got just like destroyed. And whenever it got destroyed those 2 times, it deleted my Super Chat because I had to restart YouTube. I had to refresh my own chat, which is awesome. Just wonderful stuff. So I'm going to have a lot of fun tonight trying to log everything from today's stream. And I definitely know I want to log everything from today's stream because things were coming fast and furious and I wanted to make sure everything was correct. And accuracy is going to be a rough thing to ensure after this one. And that is where I'm kind of... I got some nervousness going on whenever it comes to that. I'm nerved whenever it comes to that. What's going on with Vector? Oh, jeez, I don't know. I don't even know anymore. I wish I did. There was a big split in the ranks, but I hear that there was a split within their membership. It's just, that's just a situation that is, it exists. She Cries, The Quiet Lake by Absu coming up next. Of course, anybody who has or needs to leave the stream, do let me know before you do. just in case there's any tracks that I need to hold for the next time around. We already have a couple of those. As long as I'm alive, Vector will never die. Well, as long as you're alive, we just... What we're hoping to know is, when will the next pillar of music come? And then, of course, the secondary question will be, how's it going to sound? What's it going to be like? In between the Buried and Me? I liked part 2 a lot better than the first one. Part 2 is certainly a much better experience than part 1. And again, like we've talked about this, Lurch, it makes part 1 better by proxy. You probably didn't even know this, but Mittens was here the whole time. He was sleeping. I'm trying to keep I hope that YouTube has... I've never even found this out. I hope YouTube has a way to live longer episode. There was 5 years between Outer Isolation and Terminal Redux. That's very true, but we didn't have any of the additional drama to kind of worry about. I think that's more so where people are concerned and why there's a lot of questions, because there was that story about Vector that came out shortly after Terminal Redux happened, where it seemed like Vector was kind of on shaky ground and we weren't too sure what was going to happen with him. And then, of course, we got the indication that Vector would never die so long as David's headed the project. But not everybody saw that news or knows of that news. It's not like this stuff is as well published and shared as, you know, finding out that Destiny's Child broke up or something like that, you know? Absu's lead drummer tried out for Slayer's spot back in the day. I wouldn't be surprised by that. Not at all. Absu has a lot of history and length to their career. Because you noticed how they have a little bit more of a thrash influence within their black metal style. They combine the two elements very nicely, especially on their earlier work. I mean, imagine some of the alternate reality super lineups that we could have had in the 1990s if it was like the 2000s. Like, super groups are something that have always been around in metal, where you see a lot of shared membership, especially you saw that in the European scene, like consider Edge of Sanity, where you had the combination of Dan Swano and Mikhail Akrafid as a good little example. Now imagine if you took all of the different like regroupings and like let's just jam together projects that you see from the recent past and put some of the names from like the Big Four or like late 80s, early 90s death metal from America, and you throw them together into projects, and just the possibilities are endless. And even if you want to toss in some of the Euros, you know, the import Euros, yeah, Beyond Mater is freaking ridiculous. I mean, we are talking definitely a big-time Opeth worship there, and the band that reminds me a lot is, first of all, Spires. Spires is a very good band that feels very comparable to Pia. And then also Pharmakon. Because Pharmakon directly, like, they took a more jazzy approach. They crafted out their own sound with their albums, like Robin and A Warm Glimpse, but Pharmakon openly admitted that their favorite album of all time and the one that they drew most of their inspiration from is Still Life. Which, not really a bad album to draw inspiration from, if you ask me. The thing is, though, is that their material doesn't sound a lot like Still Life. Their material is very different. Because they do have a little bit more of a jazzy thing going on. They even incorporate some blues into their music, which is really nice. Pharmakon never got the appreciation that they deserved, and I think that's a real shame. I think it's a real shame. They were more of a contemporary than or more of an originator than a contemporary, and they just didn't really get the exposure. Real Thing by Alice in Chains up next on our happy list of fun. And then we're finally into the stuff I can see. Pharmacon. F-A-R... there we go. Yeah. Pharmacon's one of those bands that I will always bring up because, and I'll tell you why, they were a total blind buy for me. I was in a media play, if you guys remember that defunct chain, Americans mostly, and maybe Canadians? I don't know. I don't think they were a worldwide brand. But Media Play was it was kind of like a Best Buy style store, but they had a huge music section. Like music and film and stuff that was something that they were big on. They just happened to have the other technology that's sort of surrounding it. They were very much trying to compare or compete with Best Buy and Circuit City back in the day. But they had the best music section. I saw the Pharmacon album, and I just loved everything that I saw visually from it, and I ended up just buying it blindly, and loved the album. See you later, Necro. Give yourself a good one, dude. Have I heard Scorned? No, I haven't. Best shoegaze band? Oh, dude, that's a hard... That's mean, because I'm a huge fan of Catherine Wheel, whose initial material really had a lot of shoegaze in it. There's My Bloody Valentine, which is the classic. There's Swerve Driver. There's another band that I can't think of right now. It's a really good scene. It's a really, really good scene. But like, shoegaze is horrifically underrated and underappreciated. Teenage Wrist has a good bit of shoegaze in some of their tracks, and I really like what they do. Like, if you listen to Chrome Neon Jesus, I'm just taken back to the early 90s. I'm taken back to the early 90s fuzz out of bands like My Bloody Valentine and the early Catherine Wheel. And I think that's why I love that band so much. But listen to Cocktail Twins? Not a lot of it, no. Do I still have my FYE shirts? No, those were used as rags whenever I was doing some sort of cleaning project. I needed rags, and I didn't want to buy any, so I just ripped up my old shirts. So I wasn't going to wear them. I've listened to a little bit of Midnight Oil Dynasty, but the others I'm unfamiliar with. The only thing I know Ice House of is there's a really shitty beer called Ice House Beer here in America. It's based out of Milwaukee. And I remember that I was, whenever I was in college, I was convinced that Ice House just sounded really, really cool, and I was going to try it, and I was going to like it. So I ended up getting a 6-pack of it, and it was abysmal. Like, it was terrible beer. That's one of the only 6-packs I didn't actually ever finish back whenever I drank. Because usually whenever I got 6-packs, I would, drink everything, obviously. Sexual chocolate, baby. I love that part. That's amazing. Pearl Jam with Elderly Woman. Infinite Annihilator, Unholy Grave Birth by Akon, adding on to our queue. He says, you know what? That's not enough. Yeah, the full title for this, is Neil even still here? Neil Childs, are you still here, honey child? Honey boo boo bear? If you're here, give me a hell yeah, that way I know I can play the song. Because if you're not still here, then I can't play it. Hector Martinez donates the $2 and says, I love your channel. Hey dude, thank you. Hey Hector, you can put that $2 toward one of the 3 incentives on the left if you like, dude. Is butt rock basically just your terminology for hair metal? Honey boo boo bear, you here? You here, honey child? You here, honey child? So if not, I can hold Elderly Woman. I can hold that for the next time I see him. If I absolutely have to. I'm going to give him a minute or two to reply and decompress here for just a moment. Man, we're setting now. I think I may have to put this on hold for him. I may have to put this on hold for him. If that's the case, then that's the case. That's A-okay. Oh. Put an F on that. Are you kidding me? Make sure I save this first of all. Good lord. Infinite Annihilator? Oh, are you talking Infinite Annihilator? Yeah, the new Infinite Annihilator, like the latest Infinite Annihilator, got a very good score. That album was ridiculous. Alright, I think that Neil is no longer with us in the land of the stream chat, so we're going to put that elderly woman working behind the counter in a small town by Pearl Jam on hold for the moment until I see him again. So we're going to move to The Price by Leprous. This was requested by Akon. We have a lot of Akon tracks coming up, including a track from the infamous Make a Change, Kill Yourself, which that'll be fun. Won't that be fun, folks? It sure will be. I think it will be. Coming up, we have some Rivers of Nile, some Born of Osiris, some In Flames. You're making the top albums of the 2018 year list. Hopefully, I can see it. Hey. Oh, well, there's Neil. Neil has returned. How you doing? Dude. We'll have to go back and play Elderly Woman. I was just looking for you, dude. So, we'll play that next. I was literally just looking for you, Neil. That's awesome. That works. Maybe some silencer. Let's not do silencer. Let's save that for Bad Song Stream. Can I recommend some unobtrusive background music for when you have guests over? Pet Shop Boys. Pet Shop Boys are awesome. It's not very obtrusive. And basically, it depends on your guests, I would say. I'd be the one that would want to have a bunch of 80s music on. Like actual 80s new wave slash rock hits. But the thing of it is that I also know that if I do that half of my guests and half of the people I know they would lose focus every so often and just sing along. I would also good suggestion if you want just instrumental music. If These Trees Could Talk is really good for that. If These Trees Could Talk is a band that I can sit and listen to while playing video games, typing, writing, cleaning, doing nothing, you know, they're just really good for that. And they're heavy. They have a heaviness to it as well. You could also go with some post-rock. Post-rock's always pretty decent. Yindi Halda's a great band that does that well. If you're looking for truly unobtrusive, you know, you just want it to be there in the background and not be very hindering to conversation. Anything that's instrumental will probably kill. Plenty might be decent as well. Your guests are usually 80-something, grandparents. Frank Sinatra. I'm kidding. I'm just playing with you. Neil comes back with another donation. Please don't leave in that kid. It's a long, long time from now. Queens of the Stone Age with Little Sister coming on board. Yours is going toward number 1, correct, Neil? You'll have to remind me, as I am a memory lapse waiting to happen. But yeah, if they're older, then I would go with something just kind of, maybe even classical. His is going toward number 3, okay. I would even consider going somewhere, like something classical with that. So if you have a favorite composer, that might be decent as well. In fact, it would be more than decent. I'm not gonna lie. surprisingly enough, like, there'd be some folks that I would be a-okay with hearing classical from, and then there'd be others where if I walked into their place and they were playing classical music, I'd wonder who they were. I'd wonder who they were. You know what I mean? Like, I have one former friend who, I'll never be in this situation again. But if they were playing classical music whenever I went over to their place, I would look at them like, alright, you're just fucking trying to show off or something. Like, I don't know what you're trying to do, but this is fake as shit. But I watch Bill and Ted? Absolutely, dude. Bill and Ted is a classic. Hemina, The Collective Unconscious by Akon with the $2 drop. My gosh. This is like cutting the head off of a snake, man. We play one and two more appear. I can already tell you right now, we're probably not going to get to everything tonight. That's a big time, probably not. That's a big time, we're probably not. We're going to try. We're going to go as far as we can with this. Am I going to record a video on live again? Like a live video? Probably not anytime soon, if that's what you mean. Like, if you mean record it while I'm on stream, I don't have any plans to do that anytime soon. I don't have plans to do that anytime soon. I've thought about doing that in the past. As a way to review certain things. But, of course, with the way in which we do things right now, we don't listen to a lot of full albums anymore. Elderly woman behind the counter, or the corner in a small town. Counter. Do that.
I seem to recognize your face.
That's up next. No, I won't be streaming tomorrow. Next time I will be streaming will be on Monday. Monday will be the next stream. I'm going to be recording probably tomorrow for a little bit, and then I'm going to be relaxing because the weekend is usually the time I take for myself to decompress. What's Haken even mean? Who knows? It means Haken. It means H-flavored bacon. That's what it means. Okay, that's not even a... That doesn't even look like a phone number. That looks like a serial number. Ah! That's an interesting concept to talk. Justin wants to talk... he said, hey, can you talk some about the Smashing Pumpkins? Yeah, we can talk a little bit about the Pumpkins. Whenever I was younger... As I want to get this donation from Maru also in the log here. Richard Wagner with Ride of the Valkyries, £2.50. Or €2.50 rather, $2.88 total. Thank you very much. And I know yours heads towards number 1. But yeah, whenever I was younger, listening to the Pumpkins was like almost not an option. It was like a guarantee because they were pretty big whenever I was coming up. Whenever Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness came out, I was 11 years old, so I'm right there in that position where I'm starting to listen to a lot of tunes. And I liked what that album did, but I'm also... If I were to talk about like my favorites, I would have to probably go back to like the Gish and the Siamese Dream days. I really like those albums a lot. Not that Melancholy is bad. It's an extremely varied album. It's pretty well put together. It was the first double album that really felt huge to me. You know, it was the first double album that came out while I was on this earth that felt really, really big. Like, I know that the Wall existed. I knew that the Wall existed, but I didn't know much about Pink Floyd at that juncture of my life. So the Wall didn't have any sort of meaning to me at that point. But Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness did, because it was a double album that I saw in stores, I knew songs from. So it was like my first real exposure to an album bigger than just a standard fare disc. And it also became apparent with that once I heard it. And I had that album many, many years ago on cassette tape. I ended up selling the cassette whenever I had a yard sale a number of years ago. Like, we're talking a long, long time ago, and I regret doing that. But funnily enough, right over here next to me at all times, and is a copy of Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. Right here. It's always to my right side on this table. It's not my copy, though. This is not my copy. I actually do not have a copy of this album right now. I never did get it back. That's Fate's. That's the reason why I never got it back, because I figured I don't really need to. But I'm a really big fan of Siamese Dream, so I actually found a copy of that. I didn't even have to buy Siamese Dream. I found a copy of that in my yard back whenever I was in high school. Somebody threw that disc literally out the window of the car. So I just pilfered that. That became mine. Dark Fortress is a very good band. I've been listening to Elam in the car quite a bit lately. I took it down there just to jam to it for the first time in a while, and that was 3 weeks ago. And it is still not left in my car. And the thing is, I think the one thing about Billy that I really like, despite the fact that he's gone off the friggin' deep end, is the fact that he's a big wrestling fan, and of course he has the association with NWA, which directly affects me because I'm a big fan of Bullet Club and Ring of Honor and New Japan, so NWA is now partnered up a little bit with them. Why do I prefer Gish and Siamese Dream over Melancholy? I love the material on those two albums, especially tracks like Rhinoceros. I feel like some of their more expansive, like almost dreamy / shoegazy materials on those two records, and then also some of their heaviest is also there too. So I think it's just preference, nothing more. But yeah, Billy being associated with NWA is wild, and I never actually thought that would work. I didn't think that was going to work to anybody's advantage whatsoever. I thought that it was just a stunt. But Billy's actually brought the NWA some pretty good distinction in press. Of course, it is helpful that he has two really good champions. He has two really, really good champions. Magnus, who of course went by Nick Aldis whenever he was champ, and now Cody Rhodes. So that's one of those deals where I'm pleasantly surprised by how that's worked out, because I knew whenever he was talking about getting with Impact, that was going to be like the nail in the coffin for Impact. And as a result of him pulling out and going the NWA route instead, Impact is actually in a better position, although they just lost Austin Aries, but they're in a better position to at least be a little bit more autonomous. And NWA is in a better position to regrow and rebrand. Do I like newer Smashing Pumpkins? Tear Garden was a pretty decent release. The stuff is a little bit all over the place, and I think that can be kind of cited as part of Billy being all over the place a little bit in the past 10 years or so. I'm just... their material is a little bit more hit or miss these days, whereas it seemed like right after Melancholy, that's whenever their material started to become kind of like jagged. Because like Machina had some great tracks, but it also had some stuff that was less than stellar, you know. But here's my question: you remember Swan? You remember Mary Star of the Sea? Remember that project from the mid 2000s? That was actually a really good album. They got Jimmy and James back. That'll be good for them. That'll be really, really good for them. Adore is underrated? We're going to have to agree to disagree on that one, I would say. I'm not a big fan of Adore. It just didn't flow well for me. Born of Osiris, the other half of me, up next, as we're going to try to just zoom our way through some of these cuts. If I'm being interrupted by an ad every time, that's going to really disrupt my flow. Damn it, Corona. No one cares about your shitty beer. Yes, I just called Corona shitty. Fight me. What music review websites do I visit? Mostly Metal Storm and Encyclopedia Metallium. Those are ones that offer reviews. I don't really read a lot of reviews, though. I'll be honest with you. I don't read a lot of reviews, mostly because a lot of them are very poorly written. Or focus on things that are really unnecessary. Oh, Darcy's never going to be back with Billy. I don't think Darcy's ever going to get off of that wagon. And I think it's alright. I think that's alright. I don't think Darcy needs to be there to make it work. Especially at this stage. I mean, we have to remember, these folks aren't young. They're not young anymore. You know, we're not young anymore. So, I mean, in many ways it would be nice to have a full reunion, but depends on what Darcy wants to do. Wasn't Darcy, she was working with Hanson there for a while, wasn't she? Or am I thinking of someone else? She was working with somebody recently, and I was very surprised as to who it was. Lacrimosa's good. Lacrimosa is actually super underappreciated. One of my buddies bought one of their records back in like 2001, 2002, and we were very pleasantly surprised with what we heard. What do you think will come after Gent? I don't know. We need something that is, you know how they say gentlemen? We need something that comes with ladies. Ladies. Gent and Jill. The Jill. Would be kind of funny would be if Trent Seven's favorite style of music was Gent. He'd be Gent 7. Gent Beretta. Oh god. That'd be horrible. Imagine if Gent got so big that like people actually adjusted their names in wrestling and stuff like that in order to try to gimmick toward it. Oh, Lotties. The riffs. The riffs. I still really miss Jason Richardson being a part of like a band, as opposed to just doing his solo work. Though his solo album was really good. I was really, really good. That's what would make that rank 'em all kind of hard to do, Neil, actually. I feel like I'd have to re-listen to a couple of those discs just to get a an accurate feel on where I'd place them. Because some of those albums, like you said, they're just kind of, they exist.
My name is Miles Morales.
I really don't care who you are. I know, I should check my privilege. He's Spider-Man. Not really. Into that damn thing, you look like Porky freaking Pig in a damn Spider-Man mask. Shut up. Hi Goku, how you doing, man? Goku, I'm gonna just tell you right now, the queue is massive. So I can't guarantee we're gonna get to that tonight or not. Oh, Cody, you're cool, man. You're back. That's what matters. I know that much. Thank you very much, Goku. I appreciate it. I just wanted to make you aware that it's been a wild day. Which number is that heading toward, Goku? 1, 2, or 3? No, I never did touch Black Rock. I haven't even heard it. Oh yeah, this does need a low volume, doesn't it? It's a little quiet. Oh, that's the video. That's not even me. Number 1, he says, Halo Combat Evolved. Maybe play Goku song on the 26th? What, you think that's a bad song? No, I didn't play the video, I think this is just some dude uploaded it. Dynasty, I played it. We played Elderly Woman. We got that in. Yeah, we got that in after the Leprous track, and right before Rivers of Nile. Yep, sure did. Just to ensure he gets paid for it. Well, the next time we're gonna be streaming is gonna be Monday. I'm trying to get to as much as possible tonight. Like I'm in on this shit, man. Like it's crazy. I'm looking at where I'm at, and I'm thinking, okay, I just looked at how much. Whoa. All right. Working on a new top 5 list. That's cool, dude. That's cool, dude. Hopefully I'll get a chance to check that out once it's done. I need to actually go back and check your channel. Go through a couple things I do need to watch. As I slide backwards. Top 5 video game soundtracks. Oh man. That's rough. That's a hard one to conjure, dude. That really is. Because the number of the number of franchises that are out there, first of all, and then the number of actual, like, great, it's franchise alone is hard. Like if you're just doing franchises, but man, like that's like a no-win situation video because you know someone's gonna be pissed. Make a change, kill yourself. We're gonna be here for a while, folks. This right here is an 18-minute long cut. So I'm gonna tell you right now, I think we're gonna suspend donations for the night. I think we're done. I think we're done for the evening. Because this is going to be 18 minutes by itself. It's just going to put us right at about 7 o'clock. And we still have a long way to go. We still have a long way to go, folks. So after this, let's see how many tracks we have left. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then Justin's tracks. which I think is going to put us at the 16 range. Let me take a look here. 13. 14, 15, 16, 17. We have 17 tracks. This is Make a Change, Kill Yourself with Sash Thread. We're just going to say that's what it says. It's right there. But yeah, that's going to be anything that has to do with soundtracks or video games. I mean, there's going to be a lot of conflicting opinion on there. So yeah, we have a lot left. So we're going to go, we're going to see how long we go. We're probably going to go from to at least 7:30, maybe all the way until 8. I want to try to get as many of these tracks played as possible. And then, of course, the big thing after that is to try to ensure that this stuff all got logged. So that's going to be my night. My night is going to be very, very fun. Of course, like I said, anybody who has donated something, anybody who has requested a song, if you have to depart, please let me, and for good. I don't mean just, you know, for 5 minutes. If you have to go for the night, let me know. Oh, you're good. Oh, you're good. Okay, there you go. Just like what Cody just did. He said he's getting a little tired. See you on Monday. His track, I will hold for him until Monday, because he does have one in the queue. So there you go. So we'll get to I Like Trains on Monday. Make sure to save that. See you later, Cody. Thanks for stopping out, dude. I appreciate it. Dynasty, just so you know, you are next up in the queue with Scarborough with Sirens in the Sky. Just so you know. But like I said, this is a lengthy track that we are at right now. It's an 18-minute long cut, and we are 3.5 minutes in. This is really good stuff, though. That's the one thing. Like, I will say that Make a Change, Kill Yourself, despite the band name, is awesome. Let's see what game came out today. Was that Soul Calibur 6? That's pretty cool. I know some folks that will be very, very big on... I expect a Being the Elite stream tonight with Kenny Omega. I almost would be disappointed if it didn't happen, but they might be on tour right now, so I don't know. That's what I would almost expect, because I know they're big in the fighting game community and everything like that. That Mango with the knives. It's Halloween. She's thinking pumpkin carving or finger carving. Ouch! Maximilian Dude is going to be doing a live stream. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I expect to see a lot of that, actually. I expect to see a lot of that. Oh, you're going to be checking out Halloween tonight? That's cool. I have not seen Venom. I'm not going to see Venom. Yeah, that's about all I got to say about that. So... I can't, unfortunately, help you, Neil, whenever it comes to that. $900,000 subscribers. Lucky bastard. If we could only be so lucky. But hey, that's cool. That's pretty neat. I'm over here hoping that I can actually have a period of time in the next month where I gain subscribers, because I've been losing them left and right. Oh well. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, man? Weed out the weak. Weed out the folks that just don't care anymore or never cared in the first place. The memers, the meme stars. I'm actually going to step out for just a couple of seconds here, folks. I'll be right back. I'm going to probably try to get some dinner on the way here for myself. So, hang tight for just a couple minutes. Enjoy, make a change, kill yourself. Oh. Okay, we are back. We are back. I am back at least. We've been here. Oh, yeah, a lot of the tracks by Make a Change, Kill Yourself a little longer. That's part of the motif. Most of the albums are just like 3 or 4 cuts, and they're pretty long. We still have about a little less than 4 minutes to go. Actually, it's more like 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Thanks to everybody who stuck around. I just got an indication that I don't actually have to do something that I thought I was going to have to do. So, might be able to go a little longer. So we might be able to actually get to a lot of this. That's my hope. Want to make sure that everybody's still here, so let's do a roll call. The folks I'm looking for are Akon. I know Dynasty, I know that you're here. Akon, Maru, I see Goku in chat. I know Justin is still here. I know Cody left. Neil, are you still around? This way I know if we are good to go for playing everything in the queue. Akon's here, that's good. I know Riff is gone. If Neil had to leave, then that's A-okay. Yeah, Dynasty, you are up next. It's Sirens in the Sky by Scarborough. Oh. This is a long one, but it's been a good one. Have you guys had the opportunity to scope out the queue, the free queue, for All Requests Stream for Free, The Return? All requestier, streamier, for free ear. I'm not sure if I'm alive anymore. Oh my gosh. Mario, if you have to go to bed, please. Take care of yourself. Yeah, I'm only looking, I only ask those specific folks so I know whether or not I can play the stuff or if I have to hold off until Monday. I am obviously very happy to see David, and good to see you here, Waterbelong. Neil is here. Clockwork Orange of 2001: A Space Odyssey. Oh man. Both of them were really good. Clockwork Orange is really awesome though. The one thing about Clockwork Orange is that I haven't read the book. I want to. I need to. I need to get back into a little bit of reading, but I also will be doing some classwork here pretty soon to get myself suited for the new tax season. And that's going to be fun, considering this is when all the changes that were made by the current administration go into effect. So I'm hoping that it's not such a diverse difference, or there's not too many things that have been destroyed where it's like learning for the first time, you know what I mean? Like the one thing I enjoyed about last year is the fact that I was good with the knowledge I already had, and there wasn't anything really for me to be all of that unknown toward. It was just more so dates on whenever stuff happened or not. Sirens in the Sky by Scarborough. I think this is the track we played on Wednesday. But it's okay, we'll play it again. You can't get any sleep because of all the chocolate you've been eating? Wow. I admit that I too have kind of a sweet tooth whenever it comes to certain things. Like I got 4 chocolate bars on Wednesday after the stream, with the plan that it was going to last me a couple days, because I also got a pretty good dinner. I ended up eating all 4 of those chocolate bars within the same, like, 10-hour period. I had 2 of them at, like, 10 at night, and then I had 2 of them at, like, 4 in the morning, because I had a really bad sleep between 11:30 and 4 a.m. Wednesday night into Thursday that had like really vivid dreams, and it was just really bad. Like, I hope I never have that happen again for a while. The funny thing about it is that after yesterday, having the headache still a little bit and some neck problems and pain, today I've been largely pain-free, which is pretty amazing. So I'm hoping that that continues. But yeah, all my chocolate's gone, all my snacks are gone. Because whenever I woke up, I was just in... I wasn't so much in a panic or anxious or anything. Like, I was just really disheveled. Like, I was in a really weird state. So I ended up coming in here, and one of my favorite streamers was on, the Mexican Runner. He's doing a retro gaming gauntlet, so I just sat in here and watched that stuff. You know, watched that stream and just was pigging the fuck out. It was horrible. Like, I watched The Golden Girls. I really like that show. I don't care what people say about that. They can fuck themselves. It's an amazing show from the 80s. And so many of the episodes either end or they start with all of the ladies sitting around their table talking and eating like cheesecake and ice cream and stuff. I can totally relate to that. Only on a very personal, like, really, really sad one-man basis. Just sitting in here eating, like, Red Hot Chex Mix or, like, Flamin' Hot Cheetos or candy bars. If I had ice cream, I would have eaten ice cream with mint chip with whipped cream. Oh, Jesus Lord. I mean, it's like, it's such a relatable thing. So I can't even complain. I can't even talk shit on anybody that does something like that because, yo, I'm right there with you. There's a crossover video between Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and Street Fighter. Jason Frank is becoming such an icon whenever it comes to that. He's at every damn Comic-Con I see. Like, he is making the rounds. He is making the rounds. Up next, we're going to have some Alupite. I think we're only going to get to one of these songs, though, Akon, just so you know. I know you had two that were listed, but I think all things considered, we're only going to get to one. I feel like this is a track that would have probably done well on like alternative radio in America in the early 2000s. I feel like it would have done alright. So, I like it. I like it, even if it does have kind of a typical... I mean, I know it's like more of a mellow death thing going on, but... Again, I'm really surprised that Mellow Death didn't have a little bit of a bigger splash on the radio and stuff in the 2000s, if I'm being real. But up next we have some Lac Bello, then we have some Sylvian and Vader. And we eventually have to get into Justin's tracks because they're kind of just hanging out over here. We have some stuff from Filter and the Eels, Failure. And I see another donation has come in from Adrian Chavez. Adrian, I'm not sure if you are still here, if I missed this, or if this is recent. I apologize either way. And thank you also either way. The Blood Fairy by Ray Gun Hero. It's a new Dark Synth song. Oh, this just came in a couple minutes ago. Okay, well thank you very much, dude. I appreciate the $3. Do I like Synthwave or Dark Synth? I've listened to some of it. A lot of times, like, I don't seek it out. But at the same time, that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. If it ends up being good, it ends up being good. That's all that matters to me. Which of the 3 incentives would you like that $3 to go to, Adrian? Thanks again, by the way. What music from the 80s am I a fan of? One of my biggest 1980s songs that I love is Wouldn't It Be Good by Nick Kershaw. But I also jam to some Duran Duran. I definitely fuck with some Tears for Fears. Pet Shop Boys, obviously. Talking Heads. Dire Straits, Supertramp, a little bit of Peter Gabriel, you know. To say that I'm extremely knowledgeable is kind of that's more of a risky thing because I can't say that I'm super knowledgeable. But at the same time, I just know that every so often I like listening to the stuff and I don't mind 80s collections being played. Go with number 1. Cool, Adrian. I appreciate that. Depeche Mode. I mean, how could I forget Depeche Mode? Well, I just did because a lot of times whenever I list stuff like that, I try to get the stuff that is... I like to get the names that I figured that I'd forget out of the way first. And then I end up forgetting a really, really big name that I obviously screw with and obviously like to play. So, I mean, it's just what happens. 80s were a really good decade for music, but I still love the 90s more. Maybe because... I think partially that's because I lived through it. In the 80s, I lived through 6 years of it, but most of those were formative years where I'm not, like, sitting down... Like, I'm not going to be 5 years old in 1989 sitting down and listening to, like, Violator. Well, I couldn't have. Or, like, sitting down and listening to, like, songs from the Big Chair, or, like, sitting there and listening to, like, Breakfast in America and, like, dissecting it as a 5-year-old. Hey, thanks, Dennis Steve, for stopping out. You have yourself a good one. We'll see you on Monday, hopefully. If not, then we'll see you next time, my friend. Thanks for stopping out. Be around the same time on Monday, so adjust that for your local listings. Top 3. Hey, I'll take top 3. That's pretty good. I was put at number 10 by what's their fucks? Jackasses. Am I in the ragtime? I really enjoyed the soundtrack to Cuphead. I don't think it's really ragtime though. I don't really think that's what you mean. I wish that there was like 48 hours to each day so I could listen to all the stuff that I wanted to, but then my lifespan would also be drastically shorter. At 34 years old, I'd be like a grandpa close to death. Ethel Duoth is, what's the best word to use to describe Ethel Duoth? Ridiculous? Absurd? Yeah, they're good. But they are not for the faint of heart. They are not for everybody at all. Like we were talking about Sleepytime Gorilla Museum earlier and how they're not for everybody. Ethel Duoth is another really good example of that. Lac Berlot, or Lac Balot. Lac Balot, yeah, with Pale Moon Rabbit up next. And the comment that we have from Mario on this one is indie pop? Let's find out.
Want to try out my time machine?
No, I don't want to try out your time machine, you shitboard. That said that ad was for Amazon.com, but it was actually for Doritos. So something's fucky. Something's a whole fucky. Am I in this? I think. Good lord. I feel like if I was from the South, especially from Louisiana, like if I was, if I like hung out with Justin for a year, I'd become a huge Zydeco fan. I feel like that would be true. I feel like that would potentially be a true statement because he's from Louisiana, and Zydeco is very big down there, or Zydeco. Mary Poppins Returns is... Oh my gosh, Mary Poppins Returns. Good lord. Oh, man. Thing is I might actually want to see Aquaman because Jason Momoa, man. I loved him so much in Frontier that I'm tempted to see Aquaman just because he's in it. K-pop or J-pop? Probably J-pop because I've listened to more of it. As far as K-pop is concerned, like I know of a lot of people, but I don't think it's current at all. No, actually, no, I don't know very many people at all. Never mind, just kidding. I don't know jack about K-pop anymore. That was more of a 2008 CKN thing because I was dating somebody who was supposedly into that, but they only knew like 5 people. Those pop country artists, I guess, need a little bit of love too. I don't know. Maybe. I'm sure that he's probably getting views for that, since those are all artists that have a pretty diverse following. Is that was a bad way to phrase it. There's definitely there has to be a market out there for that. Although I'd be surprised if he didn't have, or I would not be surprised if he didn't have good numbers, because half of the fans of those bands just have a radio. They don't actually have the internet. K-pop is handled very much like a business culture. You know, it isn't like you get together and then that's it. You know, you work on your choreography and your songs. Like, there are some fierce expectations whenever it comes to K-pop. I've heard that it's very much like a slave-driving culture, but I'm curious as to how much I believe that, considering there are still a lot of bands that are being formed and a lot of bands that are active. And would you want that then? You know, if the culture looks so bad or like such a grind. You know what I mean? Genre music that I detest in general is actually modern country music. So there it is, right out there, black and white. I can find certain artists that are alright, like I've repeated the names so many times: Chris Stapleton, Sturgill Simpson, Hank Williams III. Aside from that, though, it all sounds the same to me. It all sounds the same to me, and that's one of my harshest criticisms to fans of that genre, is how can you differentiate so flawlessly? I guess people could say that to me about metal. You know, so I guess I shouldn't exactly judge with much harshity, but I would say that it's a little bit harder to distinguish some of them. Mostly because with metal, I guess, there's at least several different scenes. So in order for you to have trouble with distinguishment, it would have to be a lot of very complementary bands. And even if you were to go with like the initial death metal scene, for example, like, I don't think it's that difficult to differentiate between Glenn from Deicide and, you know, Morbid Angel, and then obviously Obituary is completely different, Death is completely different, Cynic has a different sound to it, you know. For a novice, I'm sure it's extremely difficult, you know, to try to get it down in your brain, but I feel like the only way that you know difference with country music is by knowing the song previously, like having heard it. We used to play in the store, in the music store, it was, Now That's What I Call Country Hits. It was a collection that the Now folks put together here in America that was completely dedicated to country, because country was getting a lot of sales. And it really was part of the reason why country is as big in the country right now as it is, in its current form. And literally the only way that I was able to tell people who was who was by studying the studying the playlist and then tracking it in my mind as I was working. And then also listening to people, like listening to people who came in looking for the stuff, and listening for key phrases and stuff. And I had to do a lot of The one thing about country music is that you don't have to do a lot of mental leaping in order to figure things out. Sylvian with A Ghost Trapped in Limbo up next from Akon. The last track that we heard from Sylvian was absolutely amazing, so I'm sure that we will love the hell out of this. I know I'm certainly going to, because I like Sylvian's work. You guys have country and western. I have a feeling that that is probably very different than ours, and that it's probably good. You guys probably have a very fond appreciation for the older country and western that was coming from America. Very much a sort of a frontiersman style of music. You know, everything whenever it comes to modern country in America is about, you know, about being right by God, drinking beer, going down dirt roads, being with country girls. You know, maybe you talk about a tractor here and there, but a lot of times you're talking about parties these days. You know, talking about old, like you have to name drop an old country artist, you know, because then, oh wow, this person's sure relatable. They know about Tim McGraw. Well, fucking yeah, probably. That was a Blues Brothers reference? Listen, you know, I missed that completely, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was... I know that there is country and western style music in Europe. I know that y'all have some. Because listen, especially down in Spain, I know that Spain definitely has some. Due to the roots. Now see, Southern Rock band, Southern Rock is a little bit different than country in the fact that, like, the way in which that music is constructed has that old outlaw rock and roll style, like, metal behind it. So, like, whenever I listen to the Allman Brothers and the Outlaws, or like even the Black Crowes, or shoot, I mean, you can get some Southern rock references from modern, like, doom and stoner bands too. There's just a philosophy there about the riff being the powerhouse, about the riff being the guide, and then the voice is there to provide the message. The one thing about Skinner, though, is they're finally, I think, hanging it up. And I think that they should have done that years ago, because they kept on going on and on and on, and the membership of Skynyrd is like, I don't even think there's a single original member left in the band. Lynyrd Skynyrd became a name as opposed to a band in its last, I'd say, 10 to 15 years. Well, see, if you like Johnny Cash, then you'll probably like old Hank Williams. If you like that, then you'll probably like old Merle Haggard. There are artists that, in the old school, that were legitimately, like, they were songwriters. You know what I mean? I don't trust most of these modern country artists to be legitimate songwriters. There's a network. Taylor Swift is writing country songs that are being used for other artists. You know, she's a writer and an artist, both. You know, let that sink in for a minute. You know, the way that's happening still has a little bit of an old school vein to it. But still, you know, if you listen to Haggard, if you listen to Patsy Cline, there's a good chance that a song that you're hearing from somebody else from the same era may have been written by them also. Yeah, not everyone's gonna like Johnny Cash, which is impressive, because Johnny's got a voice that's really hard to pass up. He's got a very honest, direct cadence to him. Swift is pop now, yeah. Since when is Haggard country? Merle Haggard? Or are you talking the actual band Haggard? Oh, come on now. Now you just got jokes. Now you just got jokes. Look at this. Look at this guy. Look at this guy. He got his jokes. Tay-Tay started off as country, though. I mean, it was pop country whenever it first got going, but at that point in time, pop country was not as sort of designed as a genre as it is now. You know, back then, pop country was just sort of an experiment that you got from, like, Cowboy Troy and, like, Big and Rich. You know, popular country was just country for years and years and years. And it stayed within its own realm. It stayed within its own lines of coloring. And now there's a lot of that crossover desire, especially whenever you consider pop artists like Carrie Underwood or like Miranda Lambert, and going deeper into, God, I'm trying to think of the last one now, Kelly Clarkson, where they actually did get rotation on both pop and country radio. So it's become a little bit more commonplace these days for pop country to be a thing that is kind of synonymous, but back in the day, a lot of music was just music. You know what I mean? Back in the day, music was music. You could hear all sorts of different sounds on the radio whenever you popped it on. You know, designation was not necessarily a thing that was restricted to just one style of music. You know, music was all about songwriters and the sounds that they were bringing. You know, maybe you had one that was more geared toward a classic sound, and then you had modern stations. But you know, the advent of the rock radio station really came whenever rock exploded. Really going all the way as far back as the late 1950s. Flag of Hate by Vader. This is a cover. Of course, the song was originally done by Creator. This is Vader doing their best impression. And yes, the quality is terrible, and because the real quality of this is terrible. Well, I think a polka. I'm from Pennsylvania, so we have a we were founded mostly by Polish people, so polka is kind of a part of our culture. I don't really partake, but I don't dislike. In fact, I like the sound. Pennsylvania polka is pretty good. But yeah, polka, especially in Pittsburgh, you still have polka festivals and stuff up that direction from time to time. I have never attended, though. I don't like sauerkraut enough. That was totally racist. I'm sorry. James Gunn's directing Suicide Squad 2. I mean, I didn't see the first one. I didn't really care. James Gunn hopping ship, though. I'm excited about that. I do kind of dig James Gunn sticking with the principle of Disney's bullshit. Just think about it. If you think about some of the stuff that other people have gotten away with just because of who they are, and then you get into this whole nonsense about James Gunn or anybody else, it's ridiculous. J.J. Abrams, they should just kill Guardians of the Galaxy. Because first of all, they're going to have to get somebody new for Batista's role, because he's not going back. And the only way I can see him going back is if they give him a shitload of money. I'm talking like, it would have to be a lot. I think it would have to be quite a bit. I think it would have to be quite a lot of money. Yeah, because Batista's loyal to Gunn. Like, Batista and Gunn are good friends. I'm wondering what role that they could give him for that film, but I mean, why not? Those have been Batista's most successful roles, being in Guardians of the Galaxy. And he's got great timing, that's the thing, like, Batista is a decent actor. Unholy Grave Birth by Infant Annihilator up next, as we are plowing through this queue as much as we possibly can. It's going to be a photo finish, I think, folks. It's going to be a photo finish, I think. I can actually see the end in sight. It's kind of scary. Imagine David Batista and Will Smith in the same movie. I'd rather just imagine Dave Batista in the movie and Will Smith, like, taking care of his kids. Nothing against Will Smith. It's just Will Smith no longer, like, him being in a movie no longer excites me. Like, that's no longer a go-to. It's kind of like back in the day, you used to be really excited if you saw Adam Sandler was going to be in a movie. Not anymore. Now I see Adam Sandler's in the film and I'm just like, well, that's probably going to suck. I don't know. I think it's just one of those things where, like, I have appreciation for those actors, but sometimes they get sort of thrust into the same roles over and over again, and you want to see them have the opportunity to evolve. Well, Will Smith doesn't have to try anymore. Like, shoot, Will Smith does not have to try. Like, literally, the Smith family could have Jada Pinkett start Wicked Wisdom, and somehow still, like, no doubt they took probably a net loss on that, and it was just like, oh, well, whatever, I wanted to do it. You know what I mean? Like, Wicked Wisdom was a terrible band, but somehow they ended up on Ozfest. Wonder how that happened. Could it be maybe because they knew the Osbournes? Because maybe they knew Sharon or Ozzy or both? And Jada was just like, hey, I have a band. Because I think that could be a possibility. Small possibility. That was a while ago, too, you have to remember. We're not speaking of this as though it's some sort of recent development. That was like 2003? 2004? Worst part of the 2000s, man. Nine tracks left on the queue. 9. We are going to do as many as we can. I'm not sure if Adrian is still here. Adrian Chavez, if you're still here, just give me a friendly little nod, because right now your track is the last one, and donations right now have been cut off. We're done for the day. Look at his son's music. I would rather not. What about his daughter's music? I mean, come on now. Let's just not talk. How many songs do we have left? I just said we got 9 left. 9. 999 Heineken. So we may actually get through this queue yet. Isn't that crazy? Up next we have a little Queens of the Stone Age. Then we have some Hamina. Then we got to pop on over to Justin's queue, which has some tracks from Filter and the Eels and Failure. Actually, it might be 10 tracks left. We'll see as we go along. And then we'll finish it off with some Wagner and Halo and Adrian's track, if he's still here. Little Sister by Queens of the Stone Age up next. I know Neil is still here. I saw you. I saw you hanging out with us. So I know that I can play this. I have not seen a hail from Adrian, so that might be one that has to be held off until next time, which if that's the case, that's fine. We have about 4 songs that will be waiting until next time. This is indeed off of Lullabies to Paralyze, yes. I love how I still clicked over to make sure, because I don't want to give bad information. I'd rather check than look like I'm some super genius. You know what I mean? I'd rather be honest about it. To kind of give you an indication of how behind we are, a lot of these songs were requested like an hour ago. Justin's, I think, were actually longer than that, so I think I actually got out of order somehow. So we're actually kind of batting a little bit out of order here. We're gonna listen to the new Imagine Dragons album whenever it comes out. God, I hope I don't. I hope I don't draw that assignment. Because I know that if I do that, I know what the expectation will be. The expectation will be that that will be a rage-driven review. And if that doesn't end up happening, people will be disappointed. Yeah, Finger 11 just released it out a couple years ago. Good for a bad stream? Yeah, it would be. It would be very good for a bad stream. Maybe I should have a donation incentive where if we raise $5,000, I'll listen to Imagine Dragons for 24 hours straight. That might actually drive me to actual madness, so no. I should probably consider my health. Should definitely look into, you know, preserving my brain. And that's really with anything. That's not just with Imagine Dragons. That's with anything. If you listen to stuff that much, and you don't give yourself a little bit of a break or anything like that, dude, you're just setting yourself up for disaster. You're like seriously setting yourself up for major league problems in the future, because that can have a bad effect on your collective mind. Shut up. Shut up, company I almost worked for, but then you went bankrupt. The Collective Unconscious by Hamina up next.
Open the...
Oh my god, I don't care. Advertisements everywhere. For the amount of ad revenue I'm giving other people, man, they should like give me some of it. Am I going to review more Now albums? No. I have suspended that series for forever. Neil, that's alright, dude. That'd be one thing where what my recommendation would be, if you were to have done something like that, would be like just whatever amount you're comfortable with, and then say play 10 minutes of, like if you drop 10 pounds and say like drop, you know, play 10 minutes of Metal Machine music, something along those lines. I wouldn't recommend First of all, I won't play the whole thing. I don't care if you drop $60. I'm not doing that to myself or you or to everybody else. But yeah, I'm done with the Now albums. I'm through with that. The more I can avoid bad pop music, the better. That actually, the only thing that makes really difficult is doing lists like the 10 worst artists, like we did earlier. Because now I'm really out of touch. And I'm happy about that. Have I ever heard Dutch pop music? Probably not. I probably have not. So, if you suggest some Dutch pop music next Friday, that'll be a treat. Favorite game soundtrack? I would say lately, and I don't think I would put this like on a list as number one, but lately I've loved the soundtracks to La Mulana and La Mulana 2. That's been a couple months running, really, because I've been obsessed with those games. We had somebody in stream, I think it was 2 years ago, that played a lot of Polish or... No, I don't think it was Polish. Trying to remember exactly where it was from. It was like maybe Slovak? It was either Slovakia or Czech Republic, like some of their pop. And that was honestly really, really good. Like, it was a lot of fun to listen to. Alright, Neil, we'll see you on Monday. Thanks for hanging out for an extended period with us for a long time tonight. Today. Hey, Mar, if you want to request that next week, go to town. That sounds like it. Sounds like it'd be pretty bad. I don't think I've ever heard that, so I couldn't honestly comment. This is off of Famina's album, Venus. This is one of the shorter tracks on the album. Do I remember any of them? No, I don't. Not by name. Again, I think the ones that were being sent to me were Slovak or Czech. Or maybe even... Oh, shoot. I'm trying to remember where Medjugorje is. The Holy Land over there that my mom's been to. Not exactly a geography major. You Walk Away by Filter! This is off of, I think, the Amalgamate. Liberty Mutual. Liberty, liberty, liberty. Fuck yourself. Anyway. This is off the Amalgamate. We are getting down to it, folks. Not a lot left in the queue. Thanks for everybody who has been patient. Thanks to everybody who has donated, obviously. I'm going to have a lot of fun tonight with the logs, trying to ensure that everything is properly channeled and logged, and I can't think of a better synonym than just the word log, because everyone likes a log. It's log, log, log. This is more of a alternative type. Filter was big on alternative radio stations in the late 90s, especially with their album Title of Record. Songs like Take a Picture. These guys have silently remained active for most of the time, ever since their time in the Sun expired. That's why my phone wasn't charging. My charger wasn't plugged in. That makes sense. You know, I'm just a genius. That's all. Well, I'm not so much crazy as so much as I'm very... I want to get as much of this... I hate being behind before we get started, you know? Because... If you owe people music, then that means that it sort of delays the start of the stream a little bit for new music and new donations and everything. So I like to get as much of the queue done as I can every day. Worst 2000s butt rock. Is that like Nickelback or what? I'm still not too sure about that. Oh, the Rasmus is definitely still active. We get a lot of requests for the Rasmus in this stream. We get a lot of requests for the Rasmus, and I actually like the stuff that they do. Stuff that I heard was actually pretty decent. We have a very big Rasmus fan among us. And Miss Mango, who I think right now must be on her way to see... oh no, you're still here! I thought maybe you would have gone to the movies by now. I have a feeling Rasmus is going to be active for a while. Oh, it's later. You go into one of those late night spooky showings, huh? Wait. Did I think of the wrong band? Did I think of the wrong group, Mango? I probably thought of the wrong group, didn't I? Ah, man. Maybe I am crazy. Yeah, I definitely need to head out pretty soon as well, because if not, my back is just going to be broken. No. Okay, so I was right about the band. Alright. I was just incorrect about the how much you love them. That's fine. You know, can't be perfect with everything. I'm trying to make the effort to know my people. Yeah, I fail. It happens. You know, whatever. I tried my best. That's all I can do. It's all you can do. It's all anybody can do. So, no worries. Rags to Rags by the Eels coming up next. We actually have 3 tracks from the Eels coming up in quick succession. We have Rags to Rags, Not Ready Yet, and Guest List. If you don't know the Eels, you may be surprised how much you end up kind of digging them. They're not a metal band whatsoever. They're an alternative band. They had a track that was somewhat big entitled Got You Where I Want You. No, wait, that was the Flies. Fuck. Or was it the Eels? It was the Flies. Anyway. These guys are alternative, some might even call them indie. They have always had kind of a cult following. Never a band that really broke out. Now it makes me wonder about the fucking Flies. Makes me freaking wonder about the fucking Flies now. Oh, just during the nighttime? Oh my. I'm weird 24/7, baby. I don't know any other life. I'm sure that whenever I'm in like dress clothes or I look like professional, I look weird to a lot of people who know me. Those who probably know me, if they ever see me in like a suit and tie, probably think I looks weird as shit. Or curious who died. I love you in a mean way. Oh, love hurts. Always has, always will. Doesn't matter how long, doesn't matter how great it is, always hurts sometime. Everybody hurts sometimes. Hi REM, how you doing? And Mark wearing a... Yeah, see? Look at the surprise. The surprise painted on Akon's face that we can't see, but we all know is there. He's like, wait, no. You like don't even own a suit, right, CKN? Actually, that's legit. I don't own a suit. I own a lot of nice clothes, though, that I don't really get to bust out very much throughout the year, which during tax season, I get to bust them out. I get to bust them out during tax season. You can't even imagine CK anywhere. I've been wearing hats a lot more lately. You know why I've been liking wearing hats lately? Because whenever I go out, I don't have to fucking mess with my hair. I don't have to mess with my damn hair whenever I go out. So, it is totally, it's totally being done in a process of laziness. Caps or beanies? Baseball caps. I have to do baseball caps. I can't do beanies. Beanies don't look right on me. So I have a Portugal the Man beanie that they sent me whenever I did the promo for them. That just is kind of hanging out and sitting there. It looks so weird on me. I wonder if I can find that real quick and show you how weird it looks. I'm gonna get the next track going first, and then I'm gonna look for it real fast, since we have a little bit of time. Up next we have Not Ready Yet by the Eels. That's an ad. That's not the song. This is the song. Both of these tracks are off of Beautiful Freak, by the way, from the Eels. There's a very creepy girl on the cover. There it is. So, I'm going to have to take off my headphones for this. But here's what... I guess is this really a beanie? I don't know. This is what this looks like on me. This is how I look in a beanie. Like, it feels unnatural just on my head. Like, it feels really weird. Like, I feel like my head is a dick, and this beanie is like a condom. You know, like I just protected myself from STDs. I feel like that's how beanies were created. Like somebody saw the creation of the condom was like, shit, I know another head that can fit. And a joke became a culture. And a joke became a culture. There you go. Oh yeah. Well, we had a very, very long queue, Jay Morris. Would scare the kittens. That's no good. But thank you for thinking of me, Mara. That'd be very sweet. I'm gonna review Beyond Creation. I'll do it right now. It's 22. It's 22 out of 30 album. They evolved just enough. The prog side is definitely infusing itself a little bit more. I feel like they could do more with it. There's a killer instrumental in the second half that is just ridiculous. That shows exactly what they can do. The only complaint I had is at times it felt like Beyond Creation literally writing in an algorithm. Because it's, you know, even though it's only their third album, their sound is still very distinct. Jay Morris, we're not doing anything from the all request stuff until November. So the stuff that maybe you added to over on the other page, that's not going to even get started until November. This is all stuff that's been donated and stuff. And I'm getting fucking hungry, guys. I'm getting hungry. I'm getting hungry. Obscura or Beyond Creation? Right now, I think I'd still go with Obscura. They've had really solid, steady albums throughout the entire cycle that they just ran. You know, with like Omnivium and Delivium. Delivium was a really good album. I would also take Obscura over the Faceless right now. is actually a really lovely change of pace, by the way. And I'm very pleased with. What score would I give for the Disturbed? You'll have to watch the review tomorrow and find out. Beyonce or Rihanna? Oh god. As far as material I'm actually willing to listen to, probably Rihanna. I don't know. I really wouldn't go out of my way for either of them, to be perfectly blunt. Guest List by the Eels, our last track from the Eels this evening. All of this is off of the same album. It's all off of Beautiful Freak. New Behemoth or Old Behemoth? I think the New Behemoth stuff is very, very solid. I like what Old Behemoth did overall, like in scope. But it felt a little bit very same for the time, you know. It was more, it fit well into a scene, whereas New Behemoth does fall victim to sort of that same curse, but also feels a little bit more like epic in scope. They're kind of cutting the conventional chord a little bit. Like, you heard a lot more of their past. You heard a lot more of their past in some of the tracks off of I Loved You at Your Darkest, while still continuing to be a little bit more theatrical and epic. See, there, Mario kind of just, you know, didn't make my point. But it's how I felt about early Behemoth, where it was black metal. It fit within the black metal history, but I'm not going to sit here and cite old Behemoth over some of the other legends or the other the big names from that genre. It doesn't stand out nearly as poignantly. But whenever I listen to The Satanist, or whenever I listen to I Loved You at Your Darkest, or even if I go all the way back to like Zoa et Cultus, it feels like it has a little bit more focus and direction and is its own body, as opposed to being part of a larger body. You know, the storylines aren't as similar, as Mario said, or, you know, it's not made up the same way. Will Disturbed's pass Godsmack's album for the worst rock album of 2018? No. That much I can guarantee you. That much I can guarantee you, because I actually liked stuff on the Disturbed album. Like, I can actually praise something on Disturbed's new album. I can't do that with Godsmack. That album was just pure trash. I haven't listened to Cold Chamber much. I did their comeback album. I did a review of that. That was about it, though. Like, I didn't return to that album whatsoever. I listened to their debut back in the 90s. It was just kind of alright. That new Godsmack album was just, ugh. It was exactly what this next band's name is, which is Failure. Because we have Failure with their song Wonderful Life coming up next. And I think...
Do we go crunchy cool or golden classic?
I don't know.
Blaze. Make life flavorful.
Well, we might as well just keep going. We might as well just finish it up. Because at this point, after this song, we'll have only 2 left. So we might as well just keep going and finish things up. Because I didn't see Adrian. I haven't seen Adrian, so I'll have to hold that off for him until the next time I see him. And after this, we just have Ride of the Valkyries by Richard Wagner, and we have the Halo theme. That's if Goku's even still here. I'm not sure if Goku is still around or not. I haven't seen him chat in a bit. Figure he's probably working on his video. So we may actually just have one track after this. All depending. '80s thrash bands. I would check out Creator if you haven't checked them out. Heathen, Onslaught, just to name a few. Yeah, Celtic Girl unfortunately didn't come back. She must have gotten held up or something. That's okay. Sodom, another decent option. Yeah, I would look at a lot of those big names, and then you'll eventually find some things that will sort of hover in the sides. You know? But the one band that I always love to recommend is Heathen. They are a little bit more melodic, you know, especially with Victims of Deception. Victims of Deception has some material that can even be seen as almost like Black Album era Metallica. But it's just really solidly done. That's one thing about the new Disturbed album. They described it as their Black Album. They described it as their Black Album, which I find kind of interesting. Because I don't think they really understood what the Black Album was, or what they did with that album. He did do a demo with Paul Bailoff? Yes, they did. Yeah. You'll learn that whenever it came to like thrash and early like grind and death and extreme metal, that you're going to see a lot of crossovers like that. Definitely not something that you're going to see these days. You know, these days, folks just start their own band and that's it. You know, there's not a lot of ads answered. It's a very different culture these days, and especially with the internet. With the internet now, you can have the friendships already made in place from just musical, you know, conversation, and now write and record and send to one another. It's a very, very different setting than, say, the 1980s, where a lot of these folks knew one another, or knew of one another, or maybe didn't know by name, but ended up with those like rehearsals or those demos and different things like that. Like, you know, consider the lineup that Metallica started with, and then where they were by the time Kill 'Em All was released, and you have names that were long gone, like Ron McGovey. You know, everybody knows that whole Metallica story more because of Dave Mustaine, but then whenever you consider who they considered as replacements, you know, especially after the death of Cliff Burton, I mean, metal or some bands or some music history would have been very, very different if they hadn't selected Jason Newsted from Flotsam and Jetsam. Because the way in which Flotsam's material went after Jason left was kind of different. You know, they didn't instantaneously drop their approach from Doomsday for the Deceiver, but it eventually evolved and became a little bit more modernized and a little more traditional metal as opposed to straight thrash. You know, one could say that that would have happened anyway, but one could also say that it wouldn't have had Jason stuck with it. And maybe they would have gotten, instead they would have taken maybe Pepper Keenan from Corrosion of Conformity, or, you know, a number of the other folks they were looking at. Because that was a pretty big gig. You know, that's obviously like one of the biggest gigs in town if you're a heavy metal fan, is to be in Metallica, because they were known and loved. even whenever that happened, even whenever they were just a couple albums in. In fact, that was their amount of acclaim was similar to that of I would say probably on the level of Ghost right now. We have Ride of the Valkyries. No, it's not the Daniel Bryan theme. It would have been cool, but you know what? It'd be cool to have another album with Chuck Schuldiner here. It'd be cool to have another album with Cliff at the helm at the bass for Metallica, or just everything else. You know, I would love to have so many things, but I'm also pleased to have what we've got. And that's just a realism that I've had to come across and accept as I've gotten older. And it makes me wonder if one day somebody will say, man, I wish that we would have had that one more CKN video or something like that. Like, not even whenever I'm dead, but like whenever I finally retire from doing this and just stop. You know? Like, I wonder how many people are going to walk around that are... And what would be even more interesting will be folks that weren't like fans during the initial march. You know, fans that weren't around whenever like we first got started or stuff. Like folks that maybe come in later. Say, man, I wish that he'd have talked about that. All the chocolate has already been eaten. Damn. I was hoping to steal some. My plans have been ruined. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that we have made it to the end, because I don't see Goku in the house. Like I said, he's probably working on his video. So we have made it. We've made it, folks! We made it! Do you know what this means? It means we made it. We have made it. So I think we are going to take our leave for the evening. I'll place Goku's track over here for the next time I see him. And then of course I'll go watch his video as a way to say, hey, love ya. Next stream is going to be Monday. Same time, so around 3:30, 4 o'clock. So that's never going to change for right now, for the series and stuff like that. But that's it's the same time. Just the next day is going to be on Monday. Monday, the 22nd of October. We will be back at it again, and we will have stuff that we'll need to play instantaneously. Probably, because, you know, we do have folks that had to depart. It was a long list today. It was a great stream today. It was a long stream today. 4.5 hours, once again. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay, ay. Thanks for everybody for stopping out, hanging out. You guys have a great night. Thank you.